So you've got a situation where you got speech pathologists. Now I'll be honest, when you called me, Jessica, the first time, I was struggling a little bit with this idea of what exactly does a voice pathologist, a speech pathologist do, and do I need that help? And you walk me through that a little bit. Can you explain what are the types of problems you're solving?
Absolutely. So there's two sort of realms of this. I'll start with the rehabilitative realm, because that's what most people think of when they think of medical or voice therapy. So thinking about someone who goes to see an ear, nose, and throat professional because they've had hoarseness for more than 2 weeks, or chronic cough, or something of that nature. So for voice therapy, what can happen is someone who talks a lot. So whether you are a professional voice user, like a teacher or executive, let's just say you get laryngitis and you get a typical cold and you lose your voice a bit, and you talk through that cold because it's your job, it's your livelihood. And your voice doesn't really get better. It gets worse maybe, or it doesn't change and it continues being hoarse. So they might go see an ear, nose, and throat professional. And that can be a lot of different things. You can have pathology that might happen to the voice from overuse or misuse. So something like vocal nodules, or vocal polyp, or a scarring, anything that can happen, inflammation or other laryngitis. So they would send you to a voice therapist to help retrain your voice to not be so tight or tense. So muscle tension dysphonia is it's a very frequent disorder that we work with, and that is a functional disorder. So there's the structural, which might be, let's say, swelling or vocal nodules because you've been misusing your voice. And then from that, when you strain through that voice, you develop muscle tension and muscle tension patterns and behaviors that you might even be doing subconsciously that actually makes your voice worse down the line. And so that person would need to see a voice specialist, for example, to help retrain their breath support, how they're using the airflow with their voice, to retrain their resonance, where they're placing their voice, to make sure that it's not in a place that would be harmful. So from a more preventive standpoint, we might be working with someone who is a voice professional who essentially needs to learn technique, because if they don't, they might overstrain and over misuse their voice. So someone who has a lot of glottal fry, for example, which is this kind of sound in your voice. Like a lot of times it happens towards the end of your sentences. We might start up here and then we kind of drop into this place, right? So I'm exaggerating it, but vocal fry is becoming more and more common, and it can be a really straining behavior. So knowing behaviors that are positive and negative for your voice to prevent, thinking about vocal hygiene, which is healthy behaviors. So hydration and chronic throat clearing and all sorts of strategies that we give a person based in evidence to make sure that they don't strain or harm their voice.